early days of Tribal Wars, we were a very small team. Everyone had several responsibilities. For example, I was programming the game, was involved in game design, explaining game design decisions to the community, and also being responsible for customer support for technical problems. And then later on, I started to build up teams, and so overall the responsibilities changed a lot over the years.
My Tribal Wars adventure started in 2005. I was a player on the German language version, Server 5. In 2006, I became a community manager for InnoGames for the Polish language version. And in 2008, I joined the in-house team as a product consultant. And in the beginning of my role, my job was to launch Tribal Wars in different languages so that players around the world could play Tribal Wars in their language.
I think my biggest contribution was like 2009, 2010, when I was still a product manager for Tribal Wars. And that was to actually revamp the design that the game started with to this new modern look that you still play with today.
I proudly contributed to the genesis of Tribal Wars and created it together with Hendrik and Michael from its very beginning. And in the start of the game, we did most things together. My responsibility at this time was on the art side, on the graphics side. I did the icons, the unit icons and all the other icons in the game of Tribal Wars, and later created the village overview, which most of you seen for at least once in the game.
So I have been with InnoGames for almost 14 years, and I've been with Tribal Wars only since October last year, but of course Tribal Wars was always in the DNA of the company. When I started 14 years ago, InnoGames was known as the company that made Tribal Wars, and Tribal Wars is still at the heart of everyone here at the company.
My contributions to the game are the 20th anniversary calendar and the Caves of Crete event, for example. And I have also rebalanced some other events and created smaller features such as this mass scavenging unlock.
So when I joined Tribal Wars, we were already actively working on the new Android app, and we started the Steam launch, which was pretty exciting actually to get the team together and do the concept of this whole thing.
I used to be a community manager and then a product manager on Tribal Wars. I joined around the 10 years anniversary, so 10 years ago, and I worked on the project for around 6 years.
Tribal Wars is a very important game for us because it allowed us to turn our hobby into a profession. It was the first game that allowed us to set up the company InnoGames, and even today it's one of our most well-known games because so many players played and are still playing Tribal Wars over so many years.
For me, Tribal Wars is pretty special. This is the game which founded InnoGames. It's the first game, and it's became such a huge success in terms of how many players, how many friends played this game, and it's founded InnoGames. And so with Tribal Wars, I was able to do what I really love, developing mobile and browser-based games, and not just as a hobby. I could do it on a professional level every day.
I started playing the game in 2006, 2007. That was during the time that I was studying. So I remember this very avidly because I know my parents hated it. I invested so much time in the game and neglected my studies kind of. But it was so much fun for me. It was a passion to play Tribal Wars, to engage in the community. I was moderating the forums, I was supporting our players, and then I transitioned into community management and then, furthered my career within InnoGames.
Tribal Wars had huge impact on my entire life. First, as a player, I played a lot. I loved the game so much. I spent so much time in-game, but also I met players in person. We talked not only about the game, but also about private stuff. We built friendships. Later, with InnoGames, I also met great friends, and I built my entire career around first Tribal Wars and later InnoGames.
So Tribal Wars was my first team, which I joined in my current role as product manager, and also the first team that I took over as the only PM there. Based on that, the learning experience was incredible and really steep, but the team was so nice and I still have really fond memories of this time.
I think the biggest achievement of the game in these 20 years is that it created so many memories for people from around the world.
I think the biggest thing, what I really like and love about Tribal Wars, where it's so good about, is in connecting players together. If you play together in a tribe, in Tribal Wars, you really get new contacts, you get new friendships, and you work hard together if you attack other players, but you also work together hard if you defend together.
So right now at Tribal Wars, we're focusing on implementing the community's wishes, the wishes that you, the players, have. We want to make the game even better, even more accessible, even more fun to play, even after 20 years. And we're also looking at the events, the old events, to make them more interesting, more rewarding.
So the biggest achievement in the game for me is just getting players from all around the world to play this game for so long and still seeing the same passion and the same enjoyment that the players are having. And also the fact that the design of the game hasn't changed so much, so it's really nice to see that people are still enjoying the same game after 20 years.
My personal Tribal Wars story, I will share a recent one. I had the desire to check if I still know how to play Tribal Wars. I logged in, my nickname was still available. In seconds I had my village. All players know that key to success on Tribal Wars is to join a powerful tribe. That's why I sent applications, and I mean I sent applications explaining like I had played Tribal Wars on World 5. I conquered more than 2,000 villages. In 1 week I even protected my account from over 12,000 attacks and did not lose any single village. And of course they want to have such experienced player. I got one sentence as answer. If I really had played Tribal Wars, I would have known players don't call it World 5, but Server 5.
In the early days, we didn't have professional sysadmins. I was the only one being in charge of the servers. And when I was on vacation in Slovenia and we had some outages in our data center, and I didn't have any mobile internet back then, I had to drive to the next city, try to find some open Wi-Fi, and walk around the whole city. At the end, I found something, then connect to our servers. Then even I found out that there is a bigger problem with the data center. I had to call them, but their phone number didn't work. So I had to call my father that he calls the data center. And then with this complicated setup, I'm sitting in a cafe in Slovenia, telling my father what to do via phone. At the end, it worked out. They could fix the servers, the game could run again, but it was quite a hassle.
I want to say thank you to everyone who's been playing this game for the past 20 years, and thank you to everyone who will continue to play the game, which is so special to every one of us here at InnoGames. Thank you very much.
Please continue giving us your valuable feedback, your comments, and we will do all we can in our power to continue to work on Tribal Wars and make it a game that you're playing 30 years from now. That's my hope, at least.
Thanks to all of you for playing this game for the past 20 years. Please continue so, and please also continue to send us your feedback and improvement ideas so we can keep the game relevant for the years to come. Thanks a lot.
Big thank you to the whole Tribal Wars community. You are the players who make Tribal Wars what it is today. It's the community around the game that makes it so successful over so many years, and that's also for us the motivation to continuously work on Tribal Wars and provide new features, new content over the next decades.
My message to the Tribal Wars community would be to keep the same passion that they've shown for the game for all those years, and to keep telling those stories of great victories or crushing defeats.
I also would like to thank especially the community managers and volunteers who helped us for 20 years in running this game and communicating to all the players. So you're awesome, and thank you for your contribution over the last 20 years. And lastly, I want to say even thank you for all the players who attacked me and where I have to spend some weekends to filter out around 1,000 attacks, which are the noblemans, where are the noblemans, where do I have to put my defenses. So even I'm thankful for the good competition.
Dear players, thank you so much for all passion, love, dedication, time spent with Tribal Wars, feedback you share with us, ideas you send, and I keep my fingers crossed for many successful conquers. Drodzy gracze, z głębi mojego serca chciałam bardzo gorąco podziękować za czas i miłość, którą obdarzacie plemiona oraz team plemion i życzę udanych podbojów. Liebe Spieler, ich bedanke mich erstmal für eure Liebe, für Feedback und Ideen, die ihr uns schickt, und ich wünsche euch noch viel Spaß mit die Stämme und ich grüße ganz lieb die Spieler von damals von Server 5.